It's 17:30 GMT. This is Umaru Sanda Amadu with Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. And tonight, I'm here with
Akusia Oche.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
The government meeting. Our strike remain unchanged.
Organized Labour defies President Akufo-Addo's plea to suspend intended strike over the Galamsey menace ravaging the country. It is a case of naked defiance of the president's request or an act of positive defiance. Also, coming up, 21 members of Democracy Hub Group granted bail, but 2, including its leader, Oliver Baka-Vomawo, denied bail over the judge's fears that he may commit another offense once he's out of custody.
Oliver was denied because this offense was committed whilst on bail for another offense. That's how come he was denied.
And later on Eyewitness News, Ningo Pram Member of Parliament Samuel Nate George to lead a group of Ghanaians to protest tomorrow over what they say is a seeming delay in the judicial determination on the anti-gay bill. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
government court support for a return of companies that exited Ghana due to economic challenges.
Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a number of affiliate stations and around the globe on citynewsroom.com. We are also live on YouTube. Look for Citi FM's handle. We are live on Facebook. You can find our name there and see what's happening in the studio. Alternatively, you can join the conversation by following the discussion using the hashtag Eyewitness News on Twitter, now known as X. My handle is at Umaru Sanda. You can also send your message at Citi973. On WhatsApp, the number is 0549 986 996. 0549 986 996. Send your views and the world will get to hear what do you think. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu here with Akusia Oche, who brings us our first story.
Let's start from the Labour front. And Organised Labour has confirmed its decision to proceed with a nationwide strike planned for Thursday, October 10, 2024. Now, the group expressed dissatisfaction with President Akufo-Addo's response to their demands, despite his reaffirmed commitment to addressing the illegal mining issue. Now, Organised Labour has been urging the president to declare a state of emergency on illegal mining and implement long-term solutions to combat the menace. While speaking to the media today, the Secretary General of the Trades Union Congress at TUC, Joshua Ansah, reiterated the union's determination to go ahead with a strike unless significant action is taken by the government before the ultimatum.
The government meeting with Organised Labour's response, we have concluded as follows. Our strike remains unchanged. I want to repeat, the strike notice remains unchanged. We have the view that what the government has proposed to do does not adequately address our demands. And therefore, our notice of strike notice remains unchanged. It's very important to actually let you know the outcome, the detailed outcome that came out from our meeting.
Right.
Yeah, so that will be a balanced report. Good. I think that when we met the president on the 3rd, we deliberated on the issues, our demands of which you are aware. That what we came out with is this, that the government with Organised Labour and the stakeholders in the fight against Galamsey. Number 2, the government will take steps when Parliament reconvenes this month to revoke the environmental protection which relates to prohibiting the mining in water bodies and forest areas. For the Attorney General will collaborate with the Chief Justice to set up courts dedicated to deal with prosecutions of illegal mining. Then the Attorney General will again collaborate with the Chief Justice to ensure swift adjudication of illegal mining. Then government supports the call for all presidential candidates to sign a pact committing to the fight against illegal mining. And the last paragraph says that government reiterates its commitment to the fight against illegal mining and calls on all stakeholders to join the fight. President has never requested for any time. When argument is coming from.
Right.
President had the discussions with us, and this is the outcome. He did not request for even a day. He only discussed the issue with us and directed that this demands, or this, how do you call it, what these steps that the government is going to be taking should be written to us. That has been done correctly. The president has not said anything. We had a discussion. We said by the 10th of October, if nothing has been done, there will be a nationwide strike. The president discussed the issues with us, our demands with us, and what he's able to do is what he's told us, and it's written vividly on this paper.
That was the voice of Joshua Ansah, Secretary General of the Trades Union Congress.
So there you have it, a decision by organized labor on 10th October. That is 2 days from now, actually 3 days, on Thursday. All workers under the organized labor front, the Trades Union Congress, are supposed to go on strike. And the reasoning is they want a presidential intervention and action on the fight against Galamsey, which they say they are seeing nothing really happening. Abdul Bana is General Secretary of the Ghana Mine Workers Union, a group that is under the Trades Union Congress, TUC, which is part of the organized labor group. He's joined us on the line. Sir, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Now, typically when a plea is made to you, the expectation is that you listen. No less a plea from the President of the Republic, the number one gentleman of the land. Organized labor has simply defied that plea or request that was made of it by the President. Why did you decide not to listen to the President?
Anyway, good evening to you and good evening to your listeners. I must say that out of utmost respect and courtesy to the office of the President, when we served notice in September, we, at his instance, we engaged with him and we were quite clear on the demands that we had put forward. Our expectation was for him to walk the talk by putting into action many of the issues that we had outlined. Unfortunately, even the ad hoc committee that he set up, this same ad hoc committee that met with the leadership of organized labor, promised to come back to organized labor within a week. Unfortunately, they did not. Not even a word to organized labor to say, look, we met with you, we said we'll come back to you within a week. We met with the President. Well, the issues about whether we should allow some time and all of that, as far as we are concerned, the clock is ticking. And for every day that we fail to do something very robustly about this matter, the more we put a lot of people in harm's way and threaten, our very lives. And so I think that the demands are pretty straightforward. What we are saying is for the President to comply fully. It's in our collective interest for him to do so. He's not doing this for himself. He's not doing it for any political party. He's doing it for the Ghanaian people. And so he has our fullest support as Ghanaians. And I can assure you that the overwhelming majority of the Ghanaian people are fully behind this cause. They want the President to ensure that at least Galamsey is in the bad. We can guarantee our future and the future of the children here.
Did you feel disrespected as organized labor by the silence of both the President and his appointees who set up that committee or who formed that committee?
I have no doubt about that. If you, out of courtesy, indulge somebody a meeting that was at his instance, and then the indication was that he'll get back to you within a week, and then the week elapses, he doesn't get back to you, he's really not bothered about the very things that he committed to do, only for organized labor to have an emergency meeting on the 1st of October to decide on the way forward was when the president came with a request to meet with the leadership of organized labor. We feel quite slighted. We feel quite disrespected by that action. But what we are saying, in essence, it is not about a personality clash. Neither is it about whether one is respected or the other is not. It's about an existential threat, that bedevils all of us. Whether we like it or not, Galamsey remains Galamsey. So let's focus on the substantive issue of dealing with this Galamsey once and for all, rather than, finger pointing and all that. What we are saying is that there's a need for us to change our tactics. There's a need for the president to approach this matter with a completely different sense altogether. And the agency that this matter requires is obvious for all of us to see. And so what we are requiring from the government, and for that matter the president, is for him to at least focus on, the mining in river bodies, mining in forest reserves. And it's important that I also clarify the issue around small-scale mining and the complete ban on small-scale mining. It's not the issue that organized labor has put out there. Organized labor is saying that there's a need for a ban when it comes to mining in our forest reserves, whether legal or illegal. There's a need for a ban when it comes to mining in our river bodies, whether legal or illegal. These are matters that are non-negotiable. These are matters that threaten our future and our survival. And as human beings, we need to be deliberate about dealing with it.
The question is, prior to today's meeting, we had in that even you organized labor were not as organized in your call. There were at least two groups of yours that have said your procedure is not the best. In fact, one of your group leaders spoke to us in the Ashanti region and described you as disorganized labor. You went to the meeting today with a disorganized front, didn't you? And what is the guarantee that this position that you are speaking to us about tonight has the general appeal of all Ghanaian workers?
First and foremost, I disagree entirely with that position held by the group that you are referring to. Any group that belongs to organized labor, as we all know it, was present in that meeting. In fact, invitations were sent out, and all organized labor groups who matter were present in the meeting. And in fact, who matter and take this subject matter of Galamsey seriously were present in that meeting. I must say that largely there was unanimity in terms of where we want to go as far as this matter is concerned. I mean, ordinarily, you would expect that people will have some level of dissentment. I mean, if you have dissenting views, it doesn't necessarily mean that they depart, from the core objective. Indeed, some of those groups that you refer to were talking about the fact that organized labor, they were not invited to a meeting and all of that. This is, substance over form. At the end of the day, what is important is that we are adding them when it comes to the fight against Galamsey. In other words, all organized labor groups are in tandem on the fight against the menace that illegal mining, presents to this country. The only issue probably may be about how we went about the meeting. So let me assure you, and let me assure the Ghanaian people that organized labor is not disorganized. We may have some dissenting views. It doesn't mean that substantively there's any, position that deviates, from our initial position to ensure that we nip Galamsey in the bud. Nothing of that sort.
In coming to the decision that you came to, was it a unanimous one or a majority decision to go on strike on Thursday?
I would say it was unanimous. Like I said, if we met and all the organized labor groups who met were very clear in their minds that Galamsey remains a threat that we need to, confront. And we need to confront it head on. If one or two believe that maybe the approach to confronting it should be something different from the way majority of us see it, it doesn't mean that the dissenting views are so, glaring to the extent that you can describe that as marks of a disorganized group making a decision as far as the fight against Galamsey is concerned. The assurance I want to give you is that there was largely consensus around the fact that, look, our initial notice remains unchanged, and for that matter, we are committed to embarking on this strike action effective Thursday, the 10th of October.
The only thing that can prevent or arrest that strike, though, would be a presidential announcement. So if the president announces on Wednesday, for instance, that he has, imposed a state of emergency on mining areas and also started processes to withdraw the legislative instruments in Parliament, you would be satisfied and you would call off your strike. Is that not the plan?
That is correct. Declare a state of emergency, and let me be more specific. State of emergency is targeting our forest reserves, mining in our forest reserves and mining in our river bodies. Once that declaration is made, it means that the president, who is the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, would direct the military to take charge over the forest reserves of this country and over all our water bodies. In that way, we are very confident that once that command and control is clear, the military would do justice, to the TOR that will be given by the president. And once that happens, I believe strongly that all the other issues become a matter of course. Obviously, the issue of ensuring that mining equipment or excavators and all of that are pulled out of these mining areas will be done anyway.
Thank you so much.
Galamseyers who are destroying our water bodies obviously would also be kicked out of the place.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you.
That's Abdul Gbana. He's General Secretary of the Ghana Mine Workers Union, a member of the Trades Union Congress, which is part of a larger group known as Organized Labour, which is planning a strike from Thursday to protest presidential non-intervention or non-action in the fight against illegal mining. They've made specific demands and the government has not acted, and they say based on that, they are left with no option than to go on a strike, and the consequence of that strike would be shutdown of the nation in effect. This has got lots of you talking, and you've been sending your messages through. Daniel Akpaliok sends a message from Sandema, and he said, for us to lose a high-profile fight like the fight against illegal mining, it suggests we have very weak and unprincipled leaders who simply do not care about the plight of the ordinary Ghanaian. The fight against Galamsey cannot be won on the platform of blame games and political rhetorics. Sadly, that is what our leaders appear to be doing. The strike action by organized labor isn't palatable and may lead to loss of lives. President Akufo-Addo should wake up from his slumber. Kennedy Onipayede sends a message. He says the labor union should unite and embark on a strike to show their commitment to the fight against illegal mining known as Galamsey. Jones Aduboy sends a message from La, and he says, good evening, Umaru. The organized labor should be aware that as much as we are fully behind them, we are also monitoring them with keen interest. They are our last hope. Solidarity is the way to go. Ghanaians are not angry enough, you see. So Obama in Pokwasi says, organized labor's intended strike action is politically motivated and unlawful. Their core mandate is to champion worker welfare and nothing more. Strike action of this nature is counterproductive as it will not solve the issues of illegal mining. I smell an umbrella. Brilliant Fahad Ibn Okujeto from Central Tong says, I'm very happy organized labor is taking the bull by the horn against this Galamsey issue. President Nana Akufo-Addo's unbothered attitude is legendary. On 7th December, let's vote out this corrupt NPP government to save our environment. Keep the conversation coming using the hashtag StopGalamseyNow, using the hashtag Eyewitness News, using the hashtag Citi Newsroom, and send it to @Citi973 or @Umaru Sanda, and the world will hear what you think. Alternatively, go on WhatsApp and drop your messages there, 0549 986 996, 0549 986 996. Let's get some other perspective to this particular issue. Dr. Charles Sapong is one of the concerned members of Technical Universities Teachers Association of Ghana, that's TUTAG. They have some issues also having to do with Galamsey. They appear to disagree with the position that has been taken by the generality of organized labor. Doc, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Yeah, thank you.
What are the difficulties you have with the plan by organized labor for Thursday?
Yeah, thank you so much. Let me first of all make some correction. Yes, I'm Charles Obin Sapon, and I'm just a member of the consent group. Yes.
Yeah, that's what we said. You said you are one of the concerned members.
Yes. But you made mention of TUTAG and the rest of it.
You are not with the Technical University Teachers Association of Ghana?
No, I'm a staff of the Technical University. I'm one of the senior administrators. Our association is called TUSAG. But I'm not, talking for TUSAG. I'm talking as a concerned member.
Of TUSAG?
Yes, I'm saying that I'm a member of Technical University Senior Administrators Association of Ghana, but I'm not talking for them, or I'm not speaking on behalf of them. I'm speaking as a member of organized labor, but a member who has consent. And so I'm part of the organizers, the consent group.
Okay.
That issued the press conference today.
This consent group, how many are you?
Well, we have a lot of people who have concerns about the issue. If you ask me how many are we are many. We are many. And so,
and any rough figure? Because if you are concerned members, you should have a number, right? You should have a group. You call the press conference. Did you issue a statement, or you called a press or you addressed a press conference?
We did. If you have a copy of the release we issued out, you see some names beneath it.
Yeah, so that's how I wanted to have an idea. So, in total, how many are you these concerned?
I'm unable to put a figure.
No, give me a range. You can say you are 5 or 15 or 50 or 500 or 5,000.
The release we gave out, I saw 12 members who have written their names beneath it, but there were a lot of them who, for the sake of they wanted to conceal their identity, and so we haven't. But that is not the issue. The issue is that we have issued that, and we have some people whose name fall under, the release. That is all.
So the thing is that when we say organized labor, we know the groupings that come under organized labor, and all these groupings, we know the number of workers that come under them. So, for instance, GPRTU, almost all trotro drivers or taxi drivers and long bus, those who go long distance driving, all those ones are under there. If you say UTAG, university teachers are in there. If you say NAGRAT, which teachers are under that group, NAT. Now, when you say concerned members and there are just 12 of you, that sounds like a drop in an ocean, which means your view, even though it may be important to you, may be insignificant and possibly inconsequential if you were to be put to a vote, don't you think?
No problem. It's not about the number. It's about the concern. You see, as you did indicate, the organized labor is made up of various unions. And so you can have, let's say you have one people coming from each of the unions, then you are talking about 12 unions. But that is not the issue. Even if it is 2 people who have concern, they can articulate their concern for the generality of the people to know, to hear.
So let's hear your concerns now, sir.
No, our concern is simple. I don't know if you have read our press release. We are saying that conventionally, when such a declaration is going to be made, when there is a leadership, of course, there might be some followers or some members who are following these leaders. And we are saying that if you are going to make such a bold declaration, at least the views, the concerns, and the various perspectives of these members must be sought. And what has been happening is that any time organized labor does such a thing, a communique is brought to the various unions. We meet members articulate their views, and that will be tabled. And at the end of the day, it will be given to leadership at the top there. And so when there is any proposition, it will be informed by the various views that might have been expressed by these people. But our concern is that this was not done that way. Hurriedly, we hear that something of that sort is to take place on the 10th of October. And I said, I'm a member of organized labor. Nobody has told me anything. My union hasn't met. Nothing is happening. So I don't think that is the way to go. That is our concern. That let us tread the right path and do things right, so that at the end of the day, whatever is put out there will be the views of everybody. Few people, by virtue of the fact that you are in leadership, you can't just go and then declare something without recourse to the people who are under you. And we thought that is not the way to go. That is all that we are saying. And that our people should get back to us. Let us do some consultation. Let us do some discussions among members so that we can have a collective view, and then it will be pushed up there regarding the menace which is affecting everybody. In fact, the issue of Galamsey is something that nobody supported, especially those who are doing illegal mining, surface mining or the mining that is affecting our vegetation, mining that is affecting our water bodies and all of that. There should be proper way of doing it or going about it. This has been with us over the years, and so there is a need for that concerted effort to right the wrong. But in doing so, as organized labor, I think the views of members should be sought so that collectively we can put something meaningful to the government, so that if the government doesn't do that, then probably we know the action to take. That is all that we are saying. But all of a sudden, boom, you put this or you hit us with this. I mean, for us, that is not the way to go. That is all that we are saying.
Okay, Doc, are you a member of the executive of TUSAG, National Executive?
No, I'm not a member.
Okay.
I'm not a member of the executive.
Has the national executive team of TUSAG taken a decision for and on behalf of the association members before in the past?
Come again?
Has your executive team ever taken a decision for and on your behalf in the past before?
You mean TUSAG?
Yes, TUSAG.
Oh, yes. Why not?
So you understand the concept of delegated power or delegated authority, don't you?
But the delegated... Let me start from where you asked your question. Anytime they have done something on our behalf, they get to the various institutions. We TUSAG membership will meet. At the local level, we have our executives there. Our views are collated, and then it is sent to the national. Then based on that, decisions are taken. That is how we have been doing this. We have been doing things. So
every member of TUSAG is consulted before a decision is announced. Is that what you're saying?
Sure.
And if you're consulted, does that also mean your view is taken into consideration, or you're just heard? Do you have to put it to a vote? For instance,
not really.
So let's say, for instance, the last time you went on a strike, did you have to vote as the generality of TUSAG members before the decision was announced, or your leaders took that decision for and on your behalf?
This is how it works. We have various institutions and whose staff are members of TUSAG, if you are talking about TUSAG, or even TUTAG, or any other UTAG and all of that. What happens is that National conceives the idea. It is brought to if it is top-down approach that you want to use, it is conceived there, it is sent to the local people, and then meetings are convened, people come, they deal with the issue, they give various sides to the issue, and then the consensus, the various decisions will be tabled, and then it will stand back. Sometimes some of these things can emanate from the bottom, and then the various, local unions will discuss the matter, and whatever comes out of those meetings is put together and sent to the national, and then based on that, they take whatever decisions. That has been the practice.
Okay, so have you raised this issue with your national leadership? Did you call your national president to say, why did you take this decision without our consent?
You mean national leadership of what?
Of your TUSAG, of your association.
No. I'm not. You see, that's why initially I wanted you to be clear that I'm not talking on behalf of TUSAG.
No.
I'm a member.
No, but I'm saying that.
Labor.
I know, but my point is that you're saying the decision has not trickled down to the ordinary member of the association.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that TUSAG went into that meeting as organized labor for and on your behalf. You are saying that you were not consulted before TUSAG joined the decision of organized labor. Is that not your point? And my question is, did you call up your president to complain or ask why this happened?
No, you are getting it twisted. What I'm saying is that I have not even told you that TUSAG has gone to support the declaration. I haven't said that. Don't assume that. What we have heard that in the news, that on the 10th of October, there is going to be strike by organized labor. That is all there is to it.
And who did you expect to speak to you about this privately before?
No, that's what I say, that normally the communication comes to, if we are dealing with the various unions, it comes to the leadership at the headquarters. And then the headquarters will also disseminate that information.
No problem. So my question
people.
then is, have you raised this issue with your leadership at the headquarters to say, we've just heard there's a strike planned for Thursday, and we as members are not aware. Leadership, are you aware? And why didn't you consult us? Did you do that? Did you make that phone call?
Privately, I have spoken to leadership, and leadership tells me they are not aware of such a thing. It was just a national declaration in Accra.
Is TUSAG not a member of organized labor?
That is the crux of the matter.
So, to the best of your knowledge, is TUSAG part of this plan or not?
To the best of my knowledge?
Yes.
To the best of my knowledge, TUSAG, my local TUSAG, haven't told me anything. And when I asked, they said they haven't received any communication from the headquarters.
On Thursday, what are you going to do? Will you go on the strike or not?
Myself?
Yes, you.
No, I've not been officially informed. How do I embark on strike like that?
So the official information you expect it to come through your local TUSAG executive or branch?
Sure, especially my input to the whole thing, not just informing me.
Okay.
We need to discuss the issue, give some proposal to be forwarded to government.
In your personal view, should there be a call for the president to act on Galamsey or not?
Come again?
In your personal view, should there be a state of emergency in mining areas as organized labor is asking or not?
My view is that fighting Galamsey is an issue for everybody. I quite remember there have been various attempts. That I recall burning of excavators and all of that. As far as I know, there have been some actions that have been taken. But whether or not those actions were successful, I cannot say. But what I do know is that there have been various actions to deal with.
So my question is, do you agree with this new action planned by organized labor or you don't?
The organized labor action regarding the strike?
Yes.
I disagree.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you.
That's Dr. Charles Obin Sapon. He is one of 12 signatories to a statement, but he says there are other members who have not shown face, and they are disagreeing with the decision of organized labor to embark on a strike on Thursday. He is also, for purpose of information, a member of the Technical University Senior Administrators Association of Ghana, TUSAG. Let's speak to another person who also disagrees with this decision of organized labor. He even thinks it's a political decision. Now, mind you, he's someone who is on the ballot. He's one of the 13 persons hoping to be president of the Republic. Kofi Akpaloo is his name. He represents the Liberal Party of Ghana, LPG, as a flag bearer and presidential candidate. Mr. Akpaloo, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Yeah, thank you, my brother.
Before I start, is your slogan still Somiha na Somiha? You still, how many years of existence? That's still the slogan you believe you should stick to?
Yes.
Very well. Why do you disagree with the strike by organized labor?
Yeah, the timing is wrong.
Explain, please.
Yes, because we have barely 2 months to an election, and then you come with this strike. Then it means it's like you are being motivated by a political party just to push the government in power away. That is the only reason that will cause anybody to take this stance. Because to me, it doesn't make any sense that you should go and strike this time. Why? If you have genuine concerns, this is not the first time these things had happened. You should have gone for this strike long way, maybe January or maybe March. You see, when the media against Galamsey thing came, every Ghanaian out there supported it because we thought it was a wise call. But this one, barely 2 months to an election, and then you are trying to do this. Then everybody thinks that maybe you have been bribed by another political party to do this, just to destabilize the system.
So for you, you are worried for the government that to make the government unpopular, right?
Oh, you see, we don't want this kind of stuff in this country. This kind of disturbance, we don't want it. At this time, we don't want. We want a peaceful election. We don't want this kind of actions. This is wrong. Everybody should tell them that this is wrong. If they have good motive for us to eradicate this menace, then they should take a proper time, not this time. After the election, they can do that, not this time.
So December 9 is okay. December 12 is okay for you. You don't have a problem. But before December 7, no way.
There's 2 months to the election. No. We don't want any undue pressure on the government. Please, we don't want that.
Very well.
We want a fair competition, okay? A fair competition. Okay. Whereby Ghanaians will go out and vote, okay, for their own choice. We don't want anybody to push anybody on us. We don't want that.
Mr. Akwalu, do you want the MPP to break the 8 or not?
I'm the next president of Ghana. I'll win this election.
Yet,
but I want it fairly.
Yet you don't want the government to be kicked out. You don't agree with you want to remove the government, but you don't want it to be removed. Can you help that make sense of that?
I want to remove the government based on the people's choice, not based on somebody sitting somewhere to orchestrate something. I don't want that. I want the people to go out there and vote massively for me to become president. Not this way.
Mr. Akwalu, what work do you do? What's your profession?
I'm a chartered accountant by profession. I'm a certified accountant.
Are you a member of the Chartered Institute of Accountants Ghana? Is that a name?
I'm a fellow of the ACCA.
Okay.
I'm a fellow of the ACCA. Yeah.
Do you understand the concept of Ghanaian workers under an umbrella called organized labor?
Yeah, I do.
Now, when you say you want Ghanaians to decide to vote for you, and Ghanaians have also decided through organized labor, through the largest union that there can be in the country, for the president to take an action, you say that that is not Ghanaians speaking, but a political party. Can you show us which political party that is?
Yeah, you see, we are not small boys in this country, my brother. We are not. We can all think between the lines. So we cannot accept this kind of demonstration. We don't want it. We want a demonstration whereby strike action, whereby people just after the election, then we know these people are destroying our water bodies and our forests, and then we want to put a stop to that. Are they asking us to put a stop to Newmont? What Newmont is doing? Have they visited Newmont site before? They should go to Newmont site and see the destruction going on there before they come back by telling us the Galamsey thing. This Galamsey, what have they done?
Mr. Akwalu, quick question. So based on all what the professionals have told us and the experts, we are likely to have no water to drink. We are likely to have no oxygen to breathe if this situation continues. What if you die, and all of us perhaps die, I pray I don't, by December 7? What will be the point of your call for the postponement until after election?
My brother, nobody's going to die. If we were to die, we would have died long time ago. Nobody's going to die. Don't let anybody mislead you to think that we are going to die within 2 months. Nobody's going to die. Okay? Please, we're talking about mines destroying our lands. The so-called organized mining companies like Newmont, go to the Newmont site and then take a video and show it to the whole world and see whether Newmont is destroying our lands or they are not.
Newmont works under the Environmental Protection Agency's dictation, under the Minerals Commission, under the Minister of Lands. Do you know that the Galamseyers do not have EPA supervision? Do you know that?
Galamsey?
Yes.
Which one is Galamsey? So, because we have bundled everything together, I want to know which one is Galamsey. Is Galamsey the one-man thing that somebody is using pickers and whatever to do, or You're talking about the small scale mining. Which one are you talking about here?
Let's leave it here. I'm sure everybody knows what Galamsey is. Thank you for speaking to us, sir.
Yeah.
That's Kofi Akpalu. He's flag bearer of the Liberal Party of Ghana, LPG. He wants to be president. He does not want the strike to happen on Thursday. He says it is going to make the government unpopular. In not so many words, that's what he's essentially saying. But would be happy if we take any action after the election, not before the election. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll return with more. Please stay with us.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Are you ready to turn your dreams into reality? Don't just dream it, own it with a loan from Fidelity Bank. Dreaming of a new home? Own it with Fidelity Mortgage Loan.
at Instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's talk about the protest in the capital city that led to the arrest of over 50 persons, which persons were sent to court and remanded into prison and police custody. Their lawyers appealed for them to be granted bail. Today, the High Court decided on the decision of the Circuit Court. Noble Nelson Amedounu is lawyer for Democracy Hub protesters. That's the name of the group. He's joining us on the line. Noble, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you for having me. Good evening.
Good evening. So, did you go back to the same circuit court that remanded your clients, or you went to a higher court to make a request? Kindly explain to us what happened.
What we did was to repeat the bail application at the High Court.
And saying to the High Court that what?
Yes, that our client deserved bail, and we demonstrated same to the court, and at the end of the day, the court looked into it and saw reason with us that accused persons deserve bail.
So it overruled what the circuit court did?
Exactly.
About how many of them did you appeal for? All 53?
46 that we did for, and so some will have their day in court tomorrow, and I'm certain that they will also be granted bail tomorrow.
Out of the 46 who had their day in court today, how many were granted bail?
Okay, so it was 23 that had their day in court today, and the rest will have their day in court tomorrow. So out of the 23, 21 was granted bail and 2 denied bail. One because the offense, that is Oliver Bakavomo, because the offense was allegedly committed whilst on bail for another offense.
And you do know the reasons that a judge would consider in granting bail. One of them is whether or not the person, if granted bail, would commit another crime. Now, your client was on bail for a previous offense he's standing trial for before committing what the police now considers a new crime. That actually then means that he cannot be trusted by the court. So, how did you argue in court to convince the judge otherwise, and how come the argument failed?
You know, this is an alleged offense. It's not like he has been found guilty. You get it? Anyone can be found culpable, can be arraigned before court any day for any offense. So it does not mean that once someone is arraigned before court, the person is guilty. No. It's one thing for the police to arraign someone before court, even before their investigation is done or after their investigation. So that does not mean that it's only that the court was saying is that this when you take the law, Section 96, which gives the court the power to grant bail in such circumstances, also prescribe reasons that the court can look into and grant reason and also deny the bail. So this is what the court did. It's only within the powers of the court to do. And I'm sure in the coming days we'll advise ourselves per the instructions of our client.
So Oliver is one of the two who were denied. Who was the other person, and what was the court's reasoning?
You know, he was not in court on the day, the last agenda, when the plea of the accused persons were taken, because he was at the hospital on admission on the third day.
Did the Attorney General's Department or did the prosecution oppose any of the applications you put forward for bail?
Yes, in some of the court it was opposed, but in some of the court it was not opposed.
Did the prosecution oppose the granting of bail, the application for Oliver Voma especially?
No, for Oliver Voma it was not opposed, but the judge himself that denied the bail application.
So the prosecution had no problem with you getting bail for Voma, but the judge thought otherwise?
No, you cannot say that the prosecution does not have any opposition because they were not present in court. So that does not mean that they don't have opposition.
Was it an ex parte application?
No, it was on notice.
And when you say the prosecution was not in court, what does that mean? Were they not heard before the decision was made?
You know, one can be served with an application, and the person will elect to come or not to come to court. So if they are decision not to come to court, if they decide not to come to court, it does not mean that they are not opposed. One can decide to, maybe for any reason that the person did not appear. So you cannot say that they are not opposed.
So you cannot even imply whether they oppose or not. That's what I mean.
Yes.
Very well. Thank you for speaking to us, sir, and wish you all the best. That's Noble Nelson Amadu. He's lawyer for members of the Democracy Hub who were protesting and who have been arrested, detained, sent to court, and remanded, and which remand is being challenged by their lawyers. They've got at least 21 of them to go home today, or at least were granted bail, 70,000 cedis with sureties, and one other person denied bail. The rest of the group would return tomorrow. Let's talk about a demonstration different from the Democracy Hub one, which is planned for tomorrow, and is organized by members of parliament who brought a private member's bill before the House, asking for a legislation on LGBTQI+, which bill was approved by.
I've heard of I've received the letter. I've received a letter from the Chief Justice. I've heard of the two press conferences the Chief Justice has held, basically trying to say that the delay is from the parties. But the court is not the court of the plaintiff or the defendant. The court is the Chief Justice's court, the Supreme Court of the land. The Chief Justice has the power to demand of all the parties in the case that they file within the time stipulated in the rules of procedure. That you file a statement of claim, the defendants have to file within 14 days. All of this is clear. The Chief Justice is the one who has powers to do that. But what the Chief Justice is saying to us is, okay, if the defendants don't file all their documents, they claim Richard Delaska and Amanda Odai have not filed all their documents. They claim the Attorney General has not filed all his documents. The Authority for Parliament has not filed all their documents. So if everybody is going to take 1 year to file their documents, the Chief Justice thinks that is a proper delivery of justice, where parties in the case will determine as and when how they will be doing their filings. I mean, justice delayed is justice denied, and the expeditious delivery of justice is critical to an effective justice delivery system. And so the Chief Justice has to be up and doing.
So tomorrow you're going to the Chief Justice's office. That's the plan.
Yes, based on the Chief Justice's letter to us, where she says that the Attorney General is partly to blame, we would be going to both the Chief Justice and the Attorney General.
Have you got a clearance from the police to go to the Supreme Court?
Oh yes, we do. In fact, yesterday we were out along the entire route with the regional commander and his 2 IC, and everything is as it should be. We've agreed on, even when we had to change the route because of the Chief Justice's letter, because originally we're not going to go through the Attorney General's office. But once the Chief Justice had said to us that we needed to also talk to the Attorney General, we added that the police have accepted that amendment in route. Everything is fine with the police.
Where is the
Supreme Court.
Is it going to be an NDC demonstration, or what will be the umbrella under which you are doing this demonstration?
Absolutely not. This fight for the innocence of our children is multi-party. It is multi-ethnic, multi-religious, and so there are no party colors welcome there. Only the Ghana flag colors are welcome there. Only the flag of the country is welcome. And so people are supposed to appear in their national colors: red, black, yellow, green. And we are handing out Ghana flags to everybody who comes there. This is being done under the auspices of the national flag, the flag of Ghana. We have the endorsement of His Eminence, the Chief Imam. We have the endorsement of the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council. We have the endorsement of the Advocates for Christ Coalition of Muslim Organizations Ghana, Consent Drivers of Ghana, Arise Ghana, traditional area. We're coming with Wulome. We have the chiefs and Queen Mothers coming. So it is an all-encompassing project that has everybody from all shades and walks of life.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. That's Samonate George, is NDC MP for Ningo Pram Pram, leading a demonstration tomorrow over the anti-LGBTQI bill, which is currently a subject of a court litigation. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Up next is business news, and then we have Point Blank for you. Please stay.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Hey, Auntie Elsie and her replica. Long time. How may I help you?
Auntie Amma, our course has gained admission to the university, but the money to pay for her fees is my headache now. Where am I going to get 2,500 cedis in this Ghana? Where?
Yes, stop that. You don't have to stress about the fee.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
Time now for the Monday edition of City Business News on Eyewitness News. My name is Akosia Autry. The details now. Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam has expressed confidence in the growing momentum of Ghana's economy, asserting that it is now well positioned to attract companies that previously exited due to the economic challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic. On highlighting the return of Virgin Atlantic Airlines to Ghana's business landscape, Dr. Amin Adam emphasized that this marks a strong signal of economic revival.
We were told that some companies left Ghana when the economy went down. But it's also important to note that companies are returning to Ghana because they see the economy is growing, the trajectory is positive, and hopefully they can partner with us to move the growth of the economy further. The latest I've heard is Virgin Atlantic, which famously said only yesterday they have returned to Ghana to operate as an airline because they see the economic recovery to be real and they see the future of Ghana to be positive. There are many other companies we haven't heard of, but they are coming and they will come. And so let's get ready for them to build that strong partnership. Let's get ready to use the capital they are bringing in, the expertise and technology they are bringing in, so that we can leverage them to support the growth of the economy.
You heard that from Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam speaking there at the second edition of the Quarterly Economic Roundtable organized by the Ministry of Finance in collaboration with the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISE. Now, Professor of Finance at the University of Ghana Business School, Patrick Isumeng, insists Ghanaian businesses stand to gain a competitive edge if the government implements stricter fiscal policies. While he pointed out that lowering the tax burden on businesses is crucial to enable growth and resilience in the private sector. Professor Isumeng stresses the need for targeted government interventions. He underscored that programs aimed at enhancing the performance of small and medium-sized enterprises should focus on key sectors to yield the greatest impact.
For me, I think Ghanaian businesses will be more competitive if the general economic environment is working stronger and they are not saddled with taxes or high cost of production, high electricity tariffs. And I think that we should focus on all of those because that one increases the overall profitability of all businesses, not a select few. So those who get this funding support or those who don't get this funding support, how are they going to survive? So for me, that's where my attention would have been. Well, I think if you're going to spend that money, you should probably look for sectors that are likely to have wider impact on the overall economy. We know these days people in agribusiness and then agro-processing, if they need a little bit more support. So perhaps if those support was targeted, and I think someone asked the question, which sectors are we looking for? And also look for sectors that generate more employment. So you give the funds, make sure that you have specific indicators to monitor what you want them to do. If you want.
That was Professor of Finance at the University of Ghana Business School, Patrick Isumeng. Away from that, the Ghana Investments Promotion Center, GIPC, has extended the application deadline for the 21st edition of the Ghana Club 100 Awards to October 11, 2024. GIPC CEO Yofi Grant states that this extension is to allow eligible companies another chance to apply and secure a place among the nation's top 100 businesses. All eligible participants must be limited liability firms, although companies with government interests may also qualify if government ownership is below 50% and are listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. The statement also noted that the award ceremony is now scheduled for October 24, 2024 at the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. Now, the Bank of Ghana has defended its decision to reduce the policy rate by 200 basis points, while the central bank lowered the rate from 29 to 27% at its last monetary meeting, citing an ease in inflationary pressures and the need to stimulate economic activity. However, with the slight uptick in inflation for the month of September, there are concerns that the consecutive declines in the rate could be reversed in the months ahead. But the Bank of Ghana maintains it will maintain a tight monetary policy stance to tame the elevating pressures and meet its year inflation target.
Let me explain to you that when the Monetary Policy Committee meets, we are not only backward looking, but we are also forward looking. So we are very, very satisfied with the decision that we took in reducing the policy rate by 200 basis points. In terms of the backward part, there were very broad improvements in the broad macroeconomy, be it growth, be it on inflation, be it on reserves, and all of that. And then in terms of the forward look, we were quite clear about the risk in the outlook. And if you look at the inflation projections that we have, it's a target range. We are looking at the range of 15 plus or minus 2. Now, when we met, it was clear that the rates to the outlook were on the upper side, so we were expecting maybe ending the year probably within the inner band. Now, what we are seeing, given what has come out in September, is that we probably might go just slightly outside the inner band.
That was Dr. Ernest Addison, Governor of the Bank of Ghana. Now, the Social Enterprises Ghana is advocating for the swift adoption and implementation of the Ghana Social Enterprise Policy, which will drive investments and growth within the sector. Our social enterprises contribute over $4 billion to Ghana's GDP annually, with the group accounting for more than 300,000 social enterprise entities across the country. While speaking at a stakeholder engagement event, Executive Director of Social Enterprise Ghana, Edwin Zukujo, highlighted the collaboration with the Ministry of Trade and Industry and other agencies to boost ongoing support efforts.
So we are always encouraging government to come to the table for conversations, dialogue, and it is in these dialogues and conversations that policies of this nature are always improved and make sure that they are passed and adopted. So we call on government to bring to the table the concerns and issues that they have in the current state of the policy we have, so that we can revise, review, and update it to meet the current requirements and status of Ghana.
How long has it been with the ministry?
This conversation has been for more than 7 years now, and we believe that this is the best of time. In the current challenges that we have, the glaring level of economic inequality, high level of graduate unemployment, the menace of Galamsey, we believe that over these 7 years, it is now time for government to see value in the current Ghana Social Enterprise Policy, the draft document that we are proposing for the adoption of the nation.
That was Executive Director of Social Enterprises Ghana, Edwin Zukujo, wrapping up the Monday edition of the City Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Akosia Hoche. Do stay with us. Up next is Point Blank.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Ugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu. Tonight on Point Blank, we're going to hear from the Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Commission. It has to do with a number of issues relating to how that institution is being run. The institution was invited before the Government Assurances Committee of Parliament, chaired by Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa, to answer questions on the Minerals Commission. The CEO, Martin Neisi, appeared before the committee and answered a number of questions on several issues in the sector. We want you to listen to that.
Illegalities, as far as what is annoying all of us, the 34 million Ghanaians, including persons unborn, comes from two categories. And I'll be honest with members here. Persons who don't have the requisite authorizations, approvals, howsoever described, who are going there and doing what they don't have the authority to do. In other words, you've not been permitted to do it. So, for example, you get into the forest, you are not licensed, and you are doing it. That is one. By far, that is what is common. And two, Chair, I'll be sitting here and lying to you to say that persons who have not been licensed, some of them have not fallen foul of the law. So the illegality comes from two sources. Some people who have been given license and have strayed. That is true. And then those who don't have any license and they are also working. That is wrong. Chair, a few things here. Like Honorable Dafiamopo said, if there's anything, Mincom rather need resources, which I'm getting anyway, nobody can say it's enough. Resources, tools, and resources to make us more efficient. That's a fact. But you see, he referred to, his first question was, persons who are working illegally. Is it not our duty to assist the security agencies to stop them? Chair, there are two things happening here. One, licenses are not issued to anybody to mine a water body. So in the first place, anybody who goes to the water body to go and mine is engaged in a criminal activity. We need to be clear about that. He's engaged in a criminal activity. If we have to give any special permit for anybody to do anything in a water body, it's what we do for VRA. That from time to time they come for this special permit to dredge the estuary to allow these water snails that host the behavior parasite to go away. We do that, and that's a proper thing. Outside that, there's no way we'll tell you, we'll give you a license to go and mine a mineral in a water body. We don't do that. So anybody who gets into the water body is involved in illegality. Now, Chair, through the Chair, Honorable Dafiamepo, so when somebody gets up and enters a dream, and typically they go in the night, you know, like 11, 10 there, and then by 4 a.m. they file out. They go into the night. Once the Minerals Commission makes it known to the appropriate security agencies that this person, you know, people are working here at night and all those things, our job ends there. So I struggle a little bit when we are, again, I use a Konongo example. So the District Officer of Minerals Commission goes around, that is his job, go around and monitor operations, ensure that persons that have been licensed follow the law. Some do breach, and it's his duty to exert the appropriate punishment. Okay? And then he chance upon an activity or an area where people are mining. There are two things he will do. Like the Konongo one that is by the roadside. He reported to the District Assembly and said that I have found this activity. It is close to the road. We have not licensed it. So you are bringing it to your attention to take action. So Honorable Dafiamiko, like you said, that is the role of the commission. He's informed the District Assembly. So what the District Assembly is supposed to do is to organize appropriate security, go and stop that activity. As head of Dissent. You understand? As head of Dissent. If we have to seek for more powers, like you are saying, to bear arms and all those things, then government policy will have to change, and that will be too much for us. I mean, look at the number of water bodies in this country. And respectfully, forestry people bear arms. So how are people entering the forest to do what they are doing where they don't have a license? It is different if people have not got all the license, they've entered the forest. So I would not ask government give us powers to go and bear arms and all those things. And then one more example, we have reported severally that behind Inyam police station, people are doing stuff there which we have not permitted. So how come that the police is not taking action?
To assist CEO. CEO, you see, I've been privileged to serve on the Public Accounts Committee. And so the auditor, as part of his annual audit, sometimes flag some of these issues, so they come before us. You'll be surprised to hear that the Forestry Commission is also complaining that when they confront these persons and entities deep within their forest cover, they are able to exhibit licenses, supposedly emanating from your commission, permitting them to engage in the activity. So what do they do? So I'm just trying to bring these matters to your attention that whilst you seek to rely on the Forestry Commission and other service security services to help you enforce and be more effective in the performance of your functions under the law, there appears to be a lacuna. That is why I think that if you ask for enhanced powers, then all of you could be operating in a coordinated manner to dealing with the matter, so that when a prospective Galamsey is found at dead of night, like you indicated, in a certain, let's say close to a riverbed, with an excavator and all those machinery about to operate, then it cannot be saying that you granted him the license, because the forestry officer is unable to determine whether the license granted, the cadastral map, covers the area where it's been located immediately or not. It takes a bit of days. By the time they come back, the degradation has been done, and the cost is lost.
I'm very happy you, Honorable Dafemeko, asked this question. Let me explain the forestry thing. Then I'll go back to the other one so that I can close the chapter on your first question and deal with the other two. Chair, for anybody to work lawfully in a forest reserve, to explore and mine, these are the approvals a person is required. You need a mineral right, a license. You have to have that. You need a forestry entry permit. That is given by the Forestry Commission. Forestry, you must give you an entry permit. That you must have a forestry entry permit. Then you have to have EPA permit. You have to go through a certain rigor. They work with the Forestry Commission on that. Then apart from that, and in any case, EPA sits on our licensing committee. EPA and Lands Commission sits on that. So you need a license properly so-called. You must have obtained your forestry permit. You must have EPA permit. Then apart from that, you need an arrangement with Forestry Commission and say that if I destroy the size of this respectful meeting room, maybe I'm going to replant 3-4 times. That's the kind of thing Newmont has in Achim. That's the kind of thing Chirano has. That's the kind of thing Ghana Boss I in 1941 has. So I am not passing the back, and that's not my nature. Yes, so I'm coming to answer your question. So if somebody shows up with a license in the forest, maybe the one Honorable Suhini and maybe Honorable Okujetu constantly raise about, and Forestry Commission says that, listen carefully, respectfully, Forestry Commission says that he is having Minerals Commission license, then respectfully, that Forestry Commission officer is failing us. Because for him to allow that activity, it means that they should have given him a forestry entry permit. And forestry entry permit is not even enough. When the person must have had EPA. So did he show him EPA? Did he show the Minister and the Commission of Minerals Commission? So we are helpless. He has failed us. Because his entry permit must even allow that activity in the first phase. the person must show. So even if somebody has a license showing that, oh, I'm holding this license 16 kilometers square, that allows me to explore mine, draw forest river, or any forest reserve in Ghana. Okay, for the person to work lawfully, all the other permits must have been granted. And even if it is a mining lease, it should even be ratified, like Newmont and Co. So if all the approvals, even if the 10 approvals are required, and he has 9, he has not got 1, because of the sensitive nature of the forest, if he goes there to do anything, that is illegal mining. So all those people who are displaying Minerals Commission or licenses, signed by the minister, and they have not got all the other authorization, anything that they indulge in is Galamsey. So that forestry officer who tells you that, oh, he has flagged a license, and that's why we are allowing him, or that is enjoying, then it means he has not done his work well.
That's Martin Eyisi. He's CEO of the Minerals Commission, having a conversation with members of the Government Assurances Committee of Parliament. And that would be it for Eyewitness News tonight. The show was produced by Kobna Wilson, Sami Wiafe, and Beverly London. I did it with Akosia Otri. Production, technical by Daniel Squashi. New media support by Edwin Kwakofi. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu. Thank you for listening to Eyewitness News. We'll be back tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. Have a good night.